Hi, my name is Monte Tilgner with the Iowa High School Athletic Association. This will be plays from week 2 across the state of Iowa and plays that we really want to focus on for the remainder of the season. So this first one is just a defensive pass interference play. Early contact, not playing the ball. That's the most common category of the 6 categories we have for defensive pass interference. So let's just take a look at this play and we can see, I talk a lot about red flags. Our first red flag is that we have a defender who is not looking back for the ball. You can see this. Receiver's looking back, defender's not looking back. So that's red flag number 1, that we have a higher potential for a foul than normal. Second red flag is now the ball is underthrown. Okay? And when the ball is underthrown, if the receiver slows down, which he does, then any contact made by this defender, which is that contact is starting right now, that makes that a foul. Okay, so we already have a foul on this play, and then we do have an interception. Okay, but this receiver was started to be fouled at the same yard line that this interception was made, so he didn't have a chance to come back, to slow down, come back for that ball, and that opportunity was taken away from him by that defender. So this is a good call for defensive pass interference. Be 15 yards from the previous spot, and the penalty yardage would result in a first down in this play. So just keep in mind, if they're not playing the ball and the receiver slows down, or if the defender speeds up and gets into that receiver, any contact when they're not playing the ball is going to be a foul. Now, the only way this would not be a foul is if, let's say, the ball was underthrown and the ball was coming down like here. Now we're talking 10, 12 yards away, and then we would not consider that a foul for defensive pass interference. But in this case, if we have any doubt, it's going to be a foul that we're going to put on the defense. Okay, we got 3 blindside block plays to show this week. This first one is legal. So remember, not all blindside blocks are illegal. So let's take a look at this one. And you can see here, we've got this player coming in, and we definitely need eyes on it because he's lining up number 12 here. But I'll show it in full speed, and then I'll back it up. Okay, so if I go back now, and you can see, oops, sorry. Let me get rid of that. I accidentally got in there. Okay, so now if I go in slow motion, you can see he's not attacking. He's stationary pretty much. And so he comes up to this 29-yard line, becomes stationary, and now with his, now he delivers a little bit of a blow, but that's not an attacking manner. He definitely doesn't, really lower his shoulder. He definitely doesn't crouch or launch or anything like that, which we don't need to have that. But it's hard to say he's attacking when he's pretty much standing still. And he's pretty much standing still and then just delivers that block. So that would be an example of a blindside block that would not be a foul. Contrast that to this one, okay? And it's a great job by our referee of opening up his vision. Okay, so we can see we're going to have player right down here. This is, referee, this is what we need you to be looking for. We need you to open up your vision and see someone looking the wrong way, who's going the wrong way. So you look at this player, and this is who our referee's looking at, and this player is coming this way. Okay, he should be blocking this direction, and he's running this way. So as we continue here, you can see, and there, the difference is this is forcible. He's running, and then he lowers the shoulder into that player. So very good call by our referee. Now let's talk about penalty enforcement real quick. Okay, so we've got this foul that occurs at the 29-yard line. Okay, and now we need to see, this is during the return, we need to see where this runner gets. This runner goes out of bounds or gets tackled in bounds, probably at the 30. Okay, so since our basic spot would be the end of the run, this foul was 1 yard behind the end of the run. So in this case, we would want to get our flag. We would want to move it up to the 29-yard line, and we would report this to the crew as during the return, illegal blindside block, return team number 10, let's say, and we're going to enforce that from the spot of the foul. So we're going to take this and we're going to move it in to position 1, and we're going to go back 15 yards. There's 5, there's 10, 15 yards. We're going to be snapping the ball right there from the 14-yard line from position 1. Great job by our referee. This one, we've got really 3 blindside blocks that all are fouls. 2 of them get called, which is great. The third one, I would love to see called by somebody as well. But let's take a look here. First one is a really good pickup by our referee. So just doing a great job of seeing this player who's, like I said, he should be going downfield and then coming to block. And instead he turns and just lays out this guy. That's attacking. That's forcible. Great call. Great pickup by our referee. So we got to think about when this one happens. This is pretty early. If you're not 100% sure, make this during the kick, okay? And we'll talk about why here in a second. If this is during the kick, it's going to be a PSK foul. Now we have a return going, all right? Here's going to be our other blindside blocks. This one is going to be called by our headline judge. Great pickup by him. That's exactly where he should be looking, even though he has progress. Really nice job. This is the one that doesn't get called, so we'll come back and take a look at that one. Let's first of all take a look at the one here more towards the top of the screen. Okay, so again, that's attacking and that's forcible. Okay, leading with the shoulder, attacking, and that is forcible contact. So great pickup there. And again, this is during the return, so we are going to need to get this from the spot of the foul. Now our second one here is going to be, again, by this player here, and you can see, again, that is attacking and that is forcible. So we want to take this. We would, if we think about this, we've got a foul during the kick and a foul during the return. Foul during the kick is going to be enforced PSK, which is going to be from the end of the kick. So if we had this first one right here as during the kick, this guy's just starting to get in our picture here now with the return. So let's say he caught it at the 30 and is now starting his return. If we have this as during the kick, we would want to enforce this penalty and decline the one that happens later. Reason why is this one would be enforced from the end of the kick, the 30 back to the 15. Okay, I believe what the crew did, if I remember right, is they enforced them both as during the return. So if we enforce them both as during the return, then obviously we're going to decline the one that occurred way up here, because that's going to end up in advance of that end of the run, which is our basic spot now. And this one, we want to enforce it here from the 45 back to the 30. So you can see the big difference in that enforcement. If we had that first one during the kick before that ball is possessed by Team R, then we're going to enforce that PSK from the end of the kick. And we're going to be starting this at the 30, I'm sorry, at the 15, from the 30 back to the 15, instead of from the 45 spot of the foul on this one, back to the 30. So when in doubt, make it during the kick. But if we're sure it's during the return, then put it during the return. So good job. Let's take a look at who could get that last block. Okay, this one right here. So who could get that? Let's look at where it occurs and who should be seeing it. Remember, back judge, you do not have progress, so you got a line of sight of this, seeing this guy going the wrong way. Our line judge, you've got a look at this, and our umpire has a look at this. So it'd be great to have somebody get a flag down on that particular block right there at the 45-yard line. But good job of getting 2 out of 3 on that one. Okay, this is an interesting one. Remember, I've talked about this before. When they go rugby, they lose their protection. The only way they're going to get that protection of a um, roughing the kicker or running into is if they pretty much stop, then take a step, and then kick, which would be your normal, what you're going to do if you're a punter. Okay, so remember, because the rule in high school is it's got to be obvious a kick would be made, and that's when it's going to be obvious. Once they start running, it's not obvious if they're going to kick it or not. So this guy's on his own. Now he doesn't stop. He's still running sideways. He slows down. He's still going sideways. At the last second, he decides to kick it. This guy almost hits him before he kicks the ball. Okay, but hits him good. But that is not a foul. Properly ruled, not a foul for roughing the kicker in this case, because he loses that protection when he gets outside, or when he starts running. So once he takes 2 steps and get outside the free blocking zone, he's pretty much on his own. He would have to dead stop, 1 step, 2 step, or 1 step and a kick, and then we could possibly have roughing. But when in doubt, if we have any doubt, then obviously the defensive team is going to have doubt that he's going to kick it, and therefore we can't make them penalize them for roughing. Okay, got 2 of these back to back. Coaches, this is going to be emphasized in the memo this week by Jared. A WWE tackle is going to be a foul. Okay, if you pick a player up and throw him down, it will be a foul. It should be a foul. Coaches, you do not teach this. I mean, I'm pretty sure you never go through a tackling drill and say, okay, guys, we're going to pick each other up and we're going to throw them down on their back or on their head. Okay, we just don't teach tackling that way. It's going to be it's a huge safety concern. So we take a look at this one here, and he picks him up. I mean, that is a way that we easily could get a player paralyzed. I mean, we're lucky that kid did not get hurt. I don't know if he did or not. It wasn't. If he did, it wasn't extremely serious. Looks like he is injured, but he's not extremely. I know he wasn't extremely seriously injured because we don't put those on. But that's a foul 100% of the time, properly called. Okay, I'm pretty sure we had a flag on it. Maybe we didn't. This next one we do, and it's not as bad, but it still is a foul. Okay, so this one's called by a referee, I believe. Again, if they pick them up and throw them down, it's a foul, even if they don't have that, he doesn't land on his head or his neck. Okay, picks him up and he tries to throw him down over his body. He ends up, throwing him down on top of himself. That's a foul. Properly flagged by our referee. There comes our flag right there. Good job. That we need to get that out of the game before we have some player who is very seriously injured. So just talk to your players. Do not let them pick up players and throw them to the ground. Okay, really interesting play here. Block punt that gets touched by the return team, and the location of this touching is what changes everything. So let's take a look here. So there we've got our block punt. Okay, so that touching is ignored, we know. Now, here's a problem. Our previous line of scrimmage was the 38-yard line. This ball is now touched by R in advance of the line of scrimmage. Okay, so since it's touched in advance of the line of scrimmage, this is going to be a loose ball, a fair game for everybody. So he doesn't pick this up clean. Okay, so here's all our rules around it. I should have went 1 step further. Rule 6.3, first of all, any receiver can catch or recover a scrimmage kick while it's in or behind the neutral zone in advance, unless it is during a try. Okay. 6.2.4, any K player may touch or recover a scrimmage kick while it's beyond the neutral zone or the expanded neutral zone, but either or, it doesn't have to be both, either or. provided such kick has been touched by the receiver who is clearly beyond the neutral zone at the time of touching. Such touching is ignored if it's caused by K pushing or blocking R into contact with the ball, or by purposely batting the ball into R. And that's what happens here. We've got a K player who, because this R player touches this ball beyond the neutral zone, he now K can legally possess this ball. And then just remember, this is a lot to learn, lot to look at. You can freeze it and come back to it. But basically, 625 is talking about the first touching rule, and first touching of a kick, and that's if it's beyond the neutral zone, beyond the expanded neutral zone, before R has touched the ball. So you can come back and read that in a little more detail. But what we have here is this ball is touched beyond the neutral zone by Team R. So now K can legally get this ball. And if they do, it's going to be first down for Team K, which is what happened. And the officials talked about it, and they did rule the kicking team with the ball 1st and 10. So good job of understanding the rules there. And really interesting one here. You don't see this very often, but what happens when you have a blocked field goal that goes past the neutral zone but doesn't reach the goal line? We know if it reaches that goal line and breaks the plane of the goal line, we have a touchback. But what if it doesn't? So let's take a look at this one. We get this field goal that's partially blocked and goes downfield. Now, I want to point some really good recognition here by our line of scrimmage official. Maybe it's our back judge. I think it's our back judge because he's on that side. He quickly sprints up to the goal line, knowing that this bouncing ball is coming back towards the goal line, and he needs to be able to see if it breaks that plane or not. So good job of coming up there. And if this is the I think this is a kicking team who downs this ball, and it's good for them to do that. But receiving team would not want to be touching this ball because if this breaks the plane, then it's going to go to the 20. But oops, sorry, I'm going to go back. In this case, that ball becomes dead at the 1 yard line, and it's going to be first down and 10 at the 1 yard line, position 5 for the receiving team. If that ball went 1 yard forward and broke that plane, then we would have a touchback. So good rules knowledge by the crew. Okay, reverse takedown during a return. So we're going to see this right in there. So this is what we have. This could just be, contact and overpowers him and he pancakes him kind of. But what happens is this return team player grabs a hold and he's going down right now. He's going to go down. So he says, well, I'm taking you with me. And he pulls him down on top of him. That is what makes it a foul. Okay. If he let him go, or if that kicking team player just ended up kind of pile driving him and they both go down on the ground together, then we would have no foul. But we got a foul takedown at the 25-yard line. The ball becomes dead at the 19, it looks like. So obviously we're going to enforce this from the dead ball spot. All right, next one here. This is spearing and targeting both on this play, but remember, not all targeting is an ejection. In fact, most targetings in high school football are not going to be an ejection. So let's take a look at this one. All right, we're going to have, I need to see the end zone view. I can't remember. I think we need to see them both here. This is our player who's going to come in and watch him dip his, oops, sorry, I don't want that arrow in there. Darn it. Okay. Watch that player there. He's going to dip his head and make forcible contact to this runner. I think we get a better view from this angle here. So this is one that opens up to our back judge, probably best. So it's number 2. You can see right here, watch him dip his head. And this is the reason why this is targeting or spearing and dangerous is because it's dangerous for number two. Number two, when he lowers his head like that, he puts his head and neck in a position where, it could get compressed, and that's how guys get paralyzed. So he definitely drops his head and he contacts the runner in his head. So spearing, 100% textbook rule of spearing on this one. Since we have forcible contact with the crown of the helmet, we also would have targeting. But in this case, this would not be one that we would want to eject. Now, if he came and launched and did that same thing, then we might eject. But in this one, definitely a foul. Spearing, targeting, take your pick. You might want to just announce spearing. That way you don't have to worry about them thinking it's targeting and he has to be ejected. Okay, next play. Back judges, remember, no matter what the formation is, you should be in the middle of the field. And in this case, you would be in the middle of the white back here. So that's where your feet should be, right where those two dots are. Don't shift over just because we have the strength of formation over here. So this is going to be a drive-through OPI. And we also want to talk about our goal line positioning here. Remember, wings, when you are at the snap, he's going to release, but he's going to release right on top of the goal line pylon. We had an official who broke his leg last year when they came over there and rolled into him. So remember, diagonal to the back of the white. And then if that pylon gets threatened at all by any players, just go straight back. You can go straight back another 2, 3, 4 yards if you need to. And that way you can see better, but also you're going to stay safe. All right, so let's take a look at this play. Here's going to be our drive-through. All right, right here, watch this big guy here. He is going to take, and he's going to, now they initiate contact mutually, I agree. But watch, he continues, he drives this defensive back backward. Okay, so that's the drive-through. We have OPI hanging. We do not throw our flag. We can't throw our flag until that ball is first touched beyond the line of scrimmage, which now it is. So we would have OPI. Now let's take a look at our mechanics. See how we're right on top of the goal line pylon? Get all the way back to the back of the white there. I guess orange on this field. Okay, and if you're back there, now you can go straight back. Wait, sorry. What you don't want to do is give up that goal line extended. So we step back to like the 2-yard line, and now we don't have a great view to see where this ball is in relation to this pylon. If we went straight back and we were back here and we're looking straight down that goal line extended, now we'll be able to make a better judgment on where that ball is, because he needs that ball to get inside over the top of that pylon to be a touchdown on this play. Next thing is, remember, the field does not foul. We need to turn around and we need to be facing these players as we're signaling touchdown. This guy just scored. He's all excited. What if he spikes the ball? What if he gives a throat slash to somebody in the crowd or something like that? We need to see players. We don't need to signal to the middle of the field. And just a reminder, referees, the only time you have to signal touchdown or a score, I should say, is on a field goal or a try. You do not need to signal touchdown to the press box on a regular scoring play like this. Only on a field goal or a try do you need to do that. And if you think about it, say we have an 80-yard run, when are you going to signal that? You're going to stop at the 50 and signal, or go all the way down there and then turn around and signal? No, you don't have to signal. That's the whole point. So something to think about. This is a good no call for illegal block in the back because he gets blocked into the tackle. So let's take a look here. You can see this player right here is going to come in and definitely block in the back right there. But he blocks the guy into the tackle. So per philosophy, we would not want a call for a block in the back on that one. And it was not called. So nice job by the crew. We've got 2 plays, I think, for illegal personal contact against a defenseless player. And the first time they had explained to the coach, he really wasn't too happy about it. I mean, that's as easy as it gets. Okay, it's forcible. The attacking, he doesn't wrap up. He can make the same contact, just as forcible contact, if he wraps up when he takes him to the ground. He doesn't wrap up, it's a foul. Great call by the crew. Okay. Now, the next one here is going to be, this is the same game, same team. And here we go again. Again, we can't just come and try to knock the ball, displace that player and knock the ball so he doesn't catch it. Okay. So again, forcible. And this one is caught. So this is going to be, we're going to tack this on 15 from the end of this run and or end of this catch. But good job by the crew of calling it. After this, the coach was yelling at his players, we need to wrap up when we hit, which is exactly what we want. If you don't want that to be a foul, you need to wrap up. Good call by the back judge in this case. Okay, that's it. 26 minutes about. So went along, but I think a lot of really good plays to look at. Watch on the YouTube channel and give it a thumbs up if you like it. And we will talk to you again next week. Keep working hard on your pre-games.